Good morning, my name is Shifa Husna binti Suhaimi.
And my name is Nur Atira Khizana binti Osman.
Today, we will present a learning activity designed to enhance pupils' conceptual understanding of volume through the use of a real-life 3D rural village model.
So this activity is designed for Year 4 pupils and is based on Brunner's learning theory together with Dean's learning principle to support meaningful mathematical learning.
So now let's move into the introduction. Mathematics learning in primary school should focus on conceptual understanding rather than memorization of procedures. Volume is often difficult for pupils because it involves understanding three-dimensional space, which is abstract.
Therefore, this activity uses a 3D rural village model to help pupils visualize volume by comparing real-life structures such as a house, a store, and a chicken coop. This helps pupils connect mathematical concepts with authentic situations, making learning more meaningful.
Before we begin the activity, let's look at the learning objective. By the end of this lesson, pupils will be understand volume as the space occupied by an object. This is important because pupils need to grasp the concept meaningfully rather than memorizing a definition. Next, pupils will compare the volume of different structures by observing which object occupies more or less space. In addition, pupils will arrange objects based on volume, from largest to smallest. This helps them develop logical thinking and better visual understanding. Finally, pupils will justify which object has greater volume. This encourages pupils to explain their reasoning, not just give an answer. Overall, this objective focuses on developing both conceptual understanding and reasoning skills.
This activity consists of 5 main stages. During the set induction, pupils observe the village model to activate their prior knowledge. In step 1, pupils compare the sizes of the buildings. In step 2, pupils identify which building has greater or smaller volume. In step 3, pupils explain their reasoning to develop mathematical thinking. Finally, in the closure, the teacher reinforces that volume refers to the space occupied inside a three-dimensional object.
This activity is aligned with the KSSR Mathematics Year 4 under Geometry, specifically under the topic Volume. The focus is on understanding the volume as the space inside 3D object through the use of the 3D village model. Pupils are able to visualize the concept clearly. The activity also involves comparing volumes, which help pupils identify which object occupies more or less space. In addition, pupils are required to justify their answers, which support their development of reasoning skills. This shows that the activity is not only engaging but also aligned with the curriculum requirement and learning outcomes.
According to Brunner, pupils learn best when learning moves from concrete experience to visual understanding and finally to abstract thinking. In other words, pupils should first experience learning through hands-on activities, then through visual observation, and finally through explanation of concepts. This helps pupils build deeper understanding progressively.
Next is Dean's theory. Zoltan Paulitz proposed that pupils learn mathematics through a sequence of stages that moves from concrete experience to abstract understanding. Each stage plays an important role in helping pupils gradually build their understanding. So what is the 6 stages in the Dean's mathematics learning theories? So the first one is free play and followed by the learning rules, which is game, comparison, representation, and symbolization. These stages show that understanding is built step by step and not instantly, which explains why pupils need experience before learning formulas.
For this activity, we introduce Village Volume Explorer, which uses a 3D village model as a teaching aid to help pupils understand the concept of volume in a meaningful way. Through this model, pupils are able to observe different building sizes and relate volume to real-life structures. This teaching aid allows pupils to visualize volume as the space inside objects, making abstract concepts more concrete and easier to understand through hands-on exploration.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, teacher.
Do you guys know what we will learn today?
No. Alright, pupils. Today we are going to learn about volume. Volume means the amount of space an object occupies.
So today we will learn volume with this village model. So in a village, different buildings are built in different sizes because they have a different purposes.
Okay, so now I will show you what's the meaning of each building. So this is a house, and then this is a store, and this is a chicken coop.
So before that, I want to ask you a question. Do you guys know why this house is bigger than this chicken coop?
I think because people live inside.
Yes, you're right.
Okay, different buildings require different amounts of space depending on their function. Okay, now I want everyone to observe carefully. Look at the size of these buildings. Okay. Which building has the greatest volume?
Big house.
Good. Okay, so which building has the smallest volume?
Chicken coop.
Okay. So next, which building has medium volume?
The store.
Very good observation. You are now comparing the volume based on their size. Based on the size.
So now let us take a look at the function. So what do we usually put inside a house?
Furniture. People.
Oh, you're right. So can this house hold many people?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's big.
Wow, excellent. What do we keep inside this store?
Boxes.
Good. Can it hold more items than the big house?
No.
Yes, because this building has a medium volume, so it cannot hold more items than this house. So, what about this chicken coop? What can we keep inside this chicken coop?
Chicken.
Yes, you're right. Can we put a human inside this chicken coop?
No.
Why?
It's small.
Yes, because it has the smallest volume than the big house.
Now I want you to arrange these buildings from biggest volume to smallest volume. This is the house, this is the chicken coop, and this is the store. So, just arrange it right now. From the biggest volume to the smallest volume. So, which one is the biggest?
The house.
Okay, and then?
Store.
Then?
Chicken coop.
Okay, very good. Okay, so if we make the store taller, what will happen to the volume?
Increase.
Okay. Why do you think so?
Because it's bigger.
Excellent. So we can conclude when the size increases, the volume increases.
So guys, today we will summarize what we have learned today. So today we have learned volume. What does volume mean?
The amount of space an object occupies.
Yes, from the volume, we can know that bigger objects have
Greater volume.
and smaller objects have.
Less volume.
Yes.
So now can you name another object that has large volume?
School.
Or?
Building.
Okay, good examples.
So now we know that Mathematics helps us understand space in real life situations.
So that's all for today. We will continue our lesson on the next day. Bye!
This activity is pedagogically effective because it provides a concrete learning experience. Pupils interact directly with the 3D village model, which helps them visualize volume more clearly instead of imagining it abstractly. It is also based on real life context, where pupils relate their buildings to familiar situations. This makes learning more meaningful and relevant. In addition, pupils are actively involved in the learning process. They observe, compare, and discuss their reasoning, which promotes active participation. This also supports conceptual understanding, as pupils learn through exploration rather than memorization. Finally, it encourages higher order thinking skills as pupils are required to justify their answers and explain their reasonings. This reflects effective mathematics teaching that focuses on understanding and not just answers.
So, the application of Brunner theory. This activity applies Brunner's theory through the three stages of learning. At the inactive stage, pupils observe the 3D village model. At the iconic stage, pupils visually compare the building sizes. Finally, at the symbolic stage, pupils explain which building has greater volume. This shows how pupils move from concrete experience to conceptual understanding.
So, this activity also reflects this theory through several stages of learning. First, in the free play stage, people observe and explore the 3D village model visually, becoming familiar with the different buildings and their sizes. Next, in the game stage, pupils are guided to compare and arrange the building based on volumes through teacher questioning. This provides structure and focuses their thinking. Then, in the search for regularities, pupils begin to recognize the pattern, which, for example, they realize that larger objects occupy more space than smaller objects. Through these stages, pupils gradually move from observation to understanding. This shows that learning develops through visual exploration, comparison, and reasoning rather than the memorization.
Next, the strengths. This activity promotes meaningful learning because pupils are able to connect the concept of volume with real life structures found in a village environment. Through the use of a contextual teaching aid, pupils become actively engaged as they observe, compare, and discuss their ideas. At the same time, the activity supports conceptual understanding because pupils develop their understanding through exploration and reasoning rather than memorizing formulas, which helps promote deeper mathematical learning.
So, in conclusion, this activity demonstrates how learning theories can guide effective mathematics learning design. Through the use of the 3D rural village model, pupils are able to visualize volume through concrete experience rather than memorizing formulas. The activity also promotes active participation and conceptual understanding as pupils observe, compare, and justify their reasoning, which support meaningful mathematics learning.
From this activity, we learn that teachers must design meaningful lessons that connect mathematics to real life situations. The use of concrete teaching aids helps pupils understand abstract concepts more effectively. In addition, applying appropriate learning theories such as Brunner's theory ensures learning progresses from concrete experience to abstract understanding, which is essential for developing deep, deeper mathematical thinking. So that's all from us.
Thank you for watching. Bye.